Here we are, it's day 2 in Oslo, and what a beautiful day it is. Yesterday turned out to be a pretty nice day after a bit of a windy and cloudy morning. It got really nice and warm in the afternoon and the evening, and today has very much started off in the same fashion. Lovely, beautiful day here in Oslo. The city's very busy as well, a lot of stuff going on here, so we're just taking a look around, doing a bit of exploring. We've got a boat trip booked at 2 o'clock. That's like a mini Fjord cruise which we're going on around here, so that'll be interesting to see. But before that, we've got a few little spots we're going to try and look out for, and I've also managed to get myself a fridge magnet, or I should say a fridge magnet. I actually got 2, so I've got those now. Just crossing the road, making sure to not get run over, and we're not. So yeah, I've picked up 2 fridge magnets, and I've also got one for my mum as well, so that's successful from both locations. Just a Starbucks mug that was the L in Sweden. So we'll see what we get up to today. Got a few nice spots to go to. I've got a few things packed in because the flight back isn't till 7:30 p.m. into Manchester, and of course we get an hour back from flying from Norway to the UK, so actually it works out to only being, I think it's only about half an hour actual change in the time zone, because the flight's only about an hour and a half. So yeah, stay tuned. Here we are, day 2 in Norway. We started with a breakfast in the hotel in the morning, and as you can see, everything is pretty normal and pretty routine, apart from one thing: brown cheese. Anyone in the comments let me know, what is brown cheese? I was mystified to this. You don't even cut it in the normal way, you have to use like a special spatula to scrape along the top of it. Our first stop of the day took us to Oslo Domkirke, which is also known in English as Oslo Cathedral. Now, it was built in 1697, and still to this day it is a wonderful, amazing building. It's held its character. The stained glass windows were amazing, and also the ceiling art was simply fantastic, so it's definitely worth a stop here, and it's also free to enter, so no worries from that side of things. I wonder what music she's listening to.
Taylor.
We kept walking round and we've gotten towards the terminal where the ferries get on, so there's a big DFDS ferry which I'm guessing is going somewhere like Copenhagen. Seen people driving on and getting on there, so that is there behind me at the port area. But we've also got here this amazing view of the opera house behind us, and I can also see the little cruise that we're getting on later to do the trip around Oslo and the fjord. So yeah, if you want your photo spot, this is the photo spot to come to. It's across the water from the opera house. This is the spot you want to be at, because you've got an amazing backdrop behind you with the sun shining as well. This is the best spot probably for a picture in Oslo, if not one of the best spots. After a couple of hours of exploring around Oslo, we ended up at this place here called Salt, which was a similar place to Barcode that we went to yesterday, except this is outdoors. Not as many different food options, but there was a few different food options there. But true to form, we actually did go and end up sharing another pizza, just like we did the other day. I tried a pint of mac, and Alex also had a Prosecco to go with the pizza. Immediately when boarding the ship, we were met with a cafe with a choice of food, drinks, snacks, etc. But we weren't stopping here. We were more than satisfied by the pizza and drinks we'd had just before at Salt. So we was heading straight up on the outside, up the side of the ship, to get a better vantage point from there, ready for departure in the next 10 minutes or so. we've just taken our seats here on the legacy of the Fjord. So this is the hour-and-a-half long cruise which is going to take us all around the harbour and show us some of the local spots, highlights you could say, from around the area. So we should get a really good vantage point, a really good view from the water of some spots around here. So we'll wait and see what exactly we do see on this trip. I think they said as well that this is either almost 100% or 100% electric powered as well, which is pretty impressive. It's like a huge catamaran type boat with like two decks of seating in here, and then there's like a top viewing deck as well that you can go onto. We might be staying inside as well because you can see on the window it's just started raining. And we are now underway. So on the right we could see that DFDS ferry I talked about earlier, and behind us we've got the Opera House, and on the left there was this big castle type building on the hill. I've tried to find out what it was afterwards, so I wasn't too sure, I couldn't find it anywhere, so if you do know, please let me know. We then see another cruise ship out on the right hand side as we get further out. Before we start to progress in towards the open water and around the fjords, the common theme around all the time outdoors as well is that the wind is blowing seriously hard. We get blown all around the deck as we're trying to soak up the amazing, if not slightly chilly and slightly breezy sights of these Norwegian fjords in Oslo. And this is me testing just how strong the wind is, seeing how far I could lean forwards before the wind couldn't hold me up any longer. I was quite surprised actually by how long I could lean for before I actually then fell forwards. And this just gives you a little bit of a first-hand view of what it was like on the ship for myself. Stood right at the front as well, so soaking up all the views right from the front deck. I was getting blown around all over the place. You can probably hear from some other clips all the wind flapping about in the microphone. There was no way I could record any audio up here. Now it is pretty much time for us to say goodbye to Oslo. We're walking back now, we're going to cut through the station to get back to the hotel. Been on a lovely Norwegian Fjord cruise around Oslo. We've also just stopped by a little cafe, a nice little independent cafe as well, not a chain. No Starbucks this time, which was really nice. Grabbed some coffees and pastries from there. So yeah, we're heading through the station now, back at the hotel soon, grab the bags and then catch the shuttle train up to Oslo Gardermoen Airport. We're not going from Torp, or we'd have to be already on our way by now if we were going from Torp. Look at this, guys. You can print your bag tag for your flight on the train. Now that is the sort of future thinking, forward thinking that I really love to see here in Norway. After that speedy transfer, it only took 22 minutes and cost about £16 to get to the airport. We've gone through security, which was a pretty quick process. There was no issues there. Again, check-in, we had a few issues with, it wasn't printing out the boarding pass for some reason. Went to check-in desk, sorted, no problem whatsoever, straight through. We decided to get some food as well before we came through passport control, because after passport control there is like nothing here at all. So if you fly into the UK, I think it's virtually only really UK flights and maybe a couple like Turkey, like non-EU destinations that come through here. So definitely get your food before you come and do passport control if you're flying back to the UK. So we went to an Irish bar called O'Leary's. Not like a crazy amount of choice, so there was like a James Italian O'Leary's, but it did the job, it was fine. We had some parmesan and garlic chicken wings, and then we also got some nachos, and Alex had some chicken quesadillas as well. It was all good, and it is now time to board the plane. I can see the queue forming over there, but like normal, it's one of those big queues where it's people just queuing onto the air bridge. So in a couple of minutes we'll head over once that queue goes down, jump on the plane, and then it is time to head back to the UK, flying back into Manchester on Norwegian Airlines this time. And one last thing as well, just make sure that if you're flying into Oslo or out of Oslo, I'd recommend, if you can, fly to Oslo Gardermoen Airport, which is where we're flying out of. It's like the main city airport. There is Oslo Torp, which is a low-cost airport. It's like 2 hours out of the city, so you've got to factor in a lot of time if you want to, you know, come in and out from there. It's something like a 2-hour bus ride, so you've not got a lot of margin for error when you are going from Oslo Torp, unless you've got a super cheap deal and you've got, you know, an extra few hours to kill going both ways. Then I'd recommend paying that bit more and coming into Gardermoen instead, because it's a much easier experience and much quicker. Two great things to call out as well from the Oslo airport transfer as well, from the Air Express train here from the city centre here to the airport. So the first one is that you can actually print your baggage tag off on the train. Yes, you just scan your boarding pass, put it there, and then it literally just prints out the bag tag for your checked luggage, stick it on, so as soon as you get to the airport, all you've got to do is just chuck it in straight away, drop it off. Imagine that in like the UK or the US or something like that. We have such like advanced trains and technology and stuff like that. We haven't quite gone to that next level yet, you know, to have something that can produce bag tags on the train to the airport. Like, and that's what I love about Norway. There's some things here. I've only been here for a few days, but I've seen some like really forward thinking advanced stuff that you just don't really see anywhere else, which I'll love to see stuff like that. The second as well is if the train is delayed by over half an hour, and if you obviously booked a train that was going to get you there to the airport on time, you can actually claim a refund and they will book you a new flight off the back. So the actual train company will book you a new flight if you miss your flight because of the train being delayed. Like I said, the only stipulation is you've just got to make sure that you initially allowed enough time to catch it. You can't just get a train 10 minutes before your flight and say, oh, I've missed it. So yeah, as long as you allow for that, it's amazing. Again, never seen anywhere do that, and it's only fair. It's just a very fair process. And again, if you incur any extra costs, when I was reading, you know, I think if you're getting the last flight of the day to your destination, they'll pay for your hotel and any other reasonable costs as well, which just saves on insurance claiming. And also, it's just a good thing to do. You know, if you call someone to miss their flight and their trip home, to cover the cost of it. So yeah, another really impressive thing here in Norway. Right there is the plane that we were waiting to board. The inevitable queue, of course. Any flight, you have to stand on an air bridge first for 10 minutes at least before you're allowed to get on the plane. But legroom, wow. We didn't pay for extra legroom, this was just standard legroom, and wow, I was so impressed. I am 6'3" with quite long legs, So to be able to stretch my legs out on this flight, I was so blown away. So hats off to Norwegian for that one. We departed on time, and to the left you can see Oslo Gardermoen Airport with actually another plane taking off. Look, just now above the engine you can see another plane taking off simultaneously. So that was over Norway, and then we head towards Manchester Airport where we come into land, and it was a great trip. Only in Oslo for a few days, but it was a really enjoyable trip going around Scandinavia, and I can't wait to get back in the future. If you are new around here, please don't forget to leave a subscribe on my channel. More future travel content to come, and if you enjoyed today's video as well, please smash that like button.